front right here moving through the southeastern U.S. And it's too bad that cold front wasn't a couple of days away, because that would really help steer Irma away from the U.S. mainland. But because it's here now, it'll push Katia to the south. The problem is, if we watch Jose, it looks like it could become a major hurricane now. Talked about it moving to the north, becoming a fish storm in the open Atlantic. But the models are carrying it extremely close now in the future to the northern islands of the Lesser Antilles that have just been decimated. We still believe it will turn to the north, but this is getting to be a little too much. Not one, not two, three. The last time was in 2010, Wolf, when we had Carl, Julia, and Igor. Enough's enough.
What a horrible, horrible situation unfolding. All right, Tom, we're going to get back to you. I know you're standing by for the latest forecast as well. And our breaking news coverage of Hurricane Irma will continue right after this. The breaking news we're following, we're getting some of the first aerial pictures of the enormous damage Hurricane Irma caused to the Caribbean island of Barbuda. The Prime Minister says 95% of the properties on the island suffered some kind of damage. In the Prime Minister's words, Barbuda is barely habitable. The core of this extremely dangerous storm will be passing Puerto Rico over the next few hours. Our anchor, George Howell, is in San Juan for us. So, George, what are the conditions there now?
A moment ago, Wolf, I would have said that we were in a lull, but quite frankly, we just felt one of those very strong wind bursts hit again. We're about 50 miles to the south of that eye wall. That eye wall, again, is where the strongest winds, the strongest storms are churning. So, again, the concern is the closer we get to that, and over the night we will get closer and closer to it, the stronger those wind gusts will get. We understand through CNN meteorologists over the next 3 hours will be the toughest here for Puerto Rico. I can tell you from experience from covering hurricanes, I've never felt wind gusts as strong as I've felt with this particular storm. They hit real quick. They're strong enough to knock you over. And that's the concern here for people that are in the direct path of this storm. If you get anything from what we're telling you, from what we're experiencing here in Puerto Rico, take cover, evacuate, follow the officials, because this is a strong storm unlike any that we've seen before. Again, Wolf, the conditions set to deteriorate over the next several hours here as, again, a monster continues to lurk out there, getting closer and closer to San Juan, Puerto Rico.
All right, be careful over there. Good luck to all the folks out there in Puerto Rico. Meanwhile, a state of emergency is in effect in Florida, where millions of people are now at risk because of this hurricane. Mandatory evacuations have been ordered in some of the most vulnerable areas. Let's go to our national correspondent, Miguel Marquez. He's in Miami for us. Miguel, I understand gas, water, lots of short supplies right now.
Yeah, you can measure the concern that people have in those exact things, gas and water. I want to show you what the lines for gas here look like in South Miami. These cars here, there's a little knot of traffic here. This has been happening all day. It is an hour, perhaps 2 hours at some points today, waiting for gas here. This is just one line. It wraps around the corner that way, about an hour. And then if you look all the way down this way across the stoplight there, that line and that right-hand lane is also there for gas. This particular station had 9,000 gallons delivered about 6 hours ago. They were almost out when another tanker truck arrived, and they got another 7,500. So they will be busy for a very, very long time. This is US 1. The counties you're talking about, the Keys and Key West, all those counties are south of where we are, and many people will have to come up this road right here. It has been busy, moderately so far today. It will certainly get busier in the days ahead. The first shelter has already been established here in Miami-Dade County, but only for residents of the Keys who are coming up this way. That will open tomorrow, but clearly just from the line of gas and the need for water, every store we went to, whether it was a Walgreens or a Publix or a Walmart or a Target today, none of them had water. To give you an example, Walmart says they are pulling water from distribution centers from as far away as Nevada to bring it in here. Some 1,300 semi-trucks filled with nothing but water to 400 stores just to quench the thirst of a very concerned Florida. Wolf?
All right, Miguel, we'll get back to you. Miguel Marquez in Miami for us. They're bracing for the worst over there. We're following the breaking news. We're going to have the latest on Hurricane Irma, the dramatic new images of massive destruction this record storm is leaving in its wake. And with Irma coming on the heels of Hurricane Harvey, is the U.S. government equipped to handle back-to-back disasters? following breaking news. Hurricane Irma, a record storm packing winds of 185 miles an hour that's devastated Caribbean islands in its path. Already, Human Services Secretary Tom Price just declared a public health emergency in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And also tonight, this hurricane, this monster, is heading toward Florida with landfall projected for this weekend, just 2 weeks after Hurricane Harvey brought record rain and flooding to the Houston area. Let's bring in CNN's Renee Marsh. Renee, is the U.S. government ready for another natural disaster?
Well, I can tell you tonight, all eyes are on Congress. The ball is in their court to provide the money FEMA needs to help those storm victims. And as I speak to you, FEMA is flirting dangerously close to running out of money.
First Harvey, now Irma.
If you're told to evacuate, get out quickly.
A second major hurricane is headed to the U.S., and it's one of the strongest Atlantic storms ever.
Storm surge and extreme winds are the biggest concern right now.
Irma, a Category 5 hurricane, is threatening Florida nearly 2 weeks after Harvey devastated Texas. And it's all happening as FEMA comes dangerously close to running out of money. FEMA has just over $1 billion, with $541 million of that available for immediate use as of Tuesday morning.
Are you confident that Congress will set aside enough funding for FEMA?
You know, that's up to the Congress.
Wednesday, the House approved $7.8 billion in relief aid, but the aid package, now in the Senate, has gotten political, with relief funding being tied to raising the debt ceiling.
We've got another unprecedented hurricane about to hit Florida, and they want to play politics with the debt ceiling? That will strand the aid that we need to bring to these victims.
Even if the $7.8 billion in relief aid passes Congress, Florida senators say it will only cover federal response costs for about a couple of weeks and would not adequately cover resources FEMA needs to respond to Irma.
We need citizens to be involved. Texas, this is a landmark event. We have not seen an event like this.
The historic magnitude of Harvey overwhelmed federal responders, causing them to ask the public for help. And that will likely happen again with Irma.
All right, and this image that you're seeing there, I mean, that's how bad it is. You can't even make out what you're looking at. No doubt the response and recovery will be overwhelming for federal responders. Despite all of that, FEMA says that it has activated its headquarters and regional offices and already deployed some 700 people to respond to Irma. Now, on this issue of running out of money as the storm approaches, I heard the FEMA administrator speaking to you last hour, Wolf. He says he would not let money get in the way of his operation. Reminds me a lot of Hurricane Irene. They were in a similar situation. They were forced to essentially operate with IOUs. Wolf?
All right, Renee, we'll stay on top of this story for all of our viewers and stay with CNN for continuing breaking coverage. Aaron Burnett out front starts right now.